my name's Chef Karl, and I'm obviously the demonstration chef for Electrolux, okay, and I'm at the moment showcasing the E-line brand in marinara sauce, okay, and that's with white wine, cream, garlic, and a little bit of shallot and carrot and celery in there, chopped parsley. And then we're going to have a nice bit of pan-fried beef with some duck liver parfait and some roasted vegetables and a truffle choux, alright, with some Mussel wine in it. And then for dessert we're going to do some apple crumble, Dutch apple crumble, but in a slightly different fashion. And I've got some homemade cider sorbet that goes with that and a nice sauce on glaze, alright, so I'm hoping you're feeling a little bit tantalising to taste. Righty-o, well, first things first, what I'm going to do I'd always start the longest jobs first when it comes to cooking, alright, so I need to put some vegetables in the oven. And the way I like to cut my vegetables is a French sort of style. It's called turning or tournéing, alright. And we use this wonderful little tool here. It's called a tournéing knife, alright. You can buy these in a good knife shop. And as you can see, I'm just cutting this nice and easy, and it comes out like a wonderful, nice little barrel. In nice, good quality restaurants, you know, you should find nice, neatly cut potatoes and things like that. I mean, well, you're paying for it, so it's what you deserve, isn't it, really, at the end of the day? Okay, so I'm going to use a little bit of grapeseed oil, and the reason why I'm using grapeseed oil is because grapeseed oil, you can get a nice higher temperature in there with a bit less smoke, if you know what I mean. But sometimes people use olive oil. Olive oil's alright for the flavour, but if you overheat it, it starts to go a little bit bitter. Chuck the carrots in there, give them another squidge of the grapeseed oil, and then just a twist of freshly cracked black pepper and some sea salt. So we have the Emotion wok here, alright, now this is fantastic. Emotion as in you get full motion in a wok as you would do in any other regular wok, okay, but E for E-line. But I like to say that I get wonderful emotions when I use this piece of equipment because it's absolutely... We're going to move on to our mussel dish now. Now I've got our wok preheating here. And what we're going to do is we're going to cook some wonderful mussels with some white wine, a little bit of shallot, garlic, cream, chopped parsley, and a bit of carrot and celery in there as well. How easy is that? And of course, obviously, remove the bad ends. So we're going to chop this up nice and fine, a lot easier and a lot safer to chop. So please don't try this at home. I am a trained professional. I've been doing this for quite some time. This first, creating that flat edge, alright? And then we're going to slice it down as well into sort of thin, small planks of carrot. And then again, we're going to slice these first into a julienne cut, which is like a real thin matchstick. And then we're going to chop it down then into our wonderful brunoise. Rightio, so we've got some celery. I'm just going to chop this down into a brunoise as well. So I'm going to take some grapeseed oil again. And as you can see as well, look, that oil slid straight down the pan. So in the induction wok, you've got the full heat all the way around the top of the wok, alright? So these are perfect for doing stir fries and all sorts of sort of Asian cooking, you know. So in goes my vegetables. And as you can see as well, it does retain a lot of heat, alright? So we're just going to toss these around a little bit, just to soften them. I got some local mussels, these are, alright? And I picked these up at the fishmongers this morning. I've already de-bearded these mussels, okay, so you get a little bit of seaweed that sort of hangs out there. It's always good to remove that because otherwise it's going to be horrible when they open up and you want to eat them. Because once they're cooked, you're unable to pull that bit of seaweed out. Do you know that with mussels? No. Well, yeah, you will be unable to pull that out once it's been cooked. So you can see how efficient this wok is, alright? I'm going to give them a little sauce around in them vegetables. I'm just going to take a little splash of Riesling, okay? You can use any wine for this really. You can use Chardonnay or Semillon, Sauvignon Blanc, any particular white wine that you like. And what I'm going to do now, whilst that's going to come up to the boil, I'm going to put another pan just over the top of that just to trap in that steam, okay? Rightio. Just some regular thickened cream, okay? Alright. Now you can add extra flavours to this if you like as well. You can put some lime zest, lemon zest in there if you fancy. But I mean traditionally with this particular dish it's just the white wine, cream, chopped parsley, chopped garlic and your mirepoix, which is your traditional sort of ingredients. So what I've got is just regular Granny Smith apples, right? You can peel these if you want, but sometimes I like to leave the skin on. some sultanas, a little bit of cinnamon and some sugar. Now a Macedonian cut is around just under about a centimetre diced, alright? And you see that when you buy a bag of frozen vegetables, when they call it a Macedonian vegetables, and it's all cut around about the same size, 1 centimetre. So again, a little bit about me. I've worked on the Queen Mary 2 as the celebrity chef. I've worked on other international cruise lines as well in executive positions. I'm also on television here in Australia as well, Channel 31. I do a show called Kids in the Kitchen. Right, I'm just going to turn off the induction cooktop right down to 0. And as you can see, look, the boiling has almost stopped instantly. All right. We're going to just give them a little stir through with the parsley. And then sort of divide these evenly into each bowl. And okay, so we go with a little bit of broth. Just a bit more in that one. So we'll just finish that off with just a lovely little sprig of parsley there.
We saw an induction cooktop that I think AEG.
So we got some steamed mussels in mariner's sauce. Fantastic equipment. Believe you me, you can be the Jamie Oliver, you can be the Gordon Ramsay, you can be the master chef, but with these Electroline products, your kitchen will rule, believe you me. So what I've got here is about 200 grams of just regular plain flour, about 100 grams of caster sugar in there as butter, taken off about 50 grams there. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to dice this up. I've left this in the fridge because for making a crumble topping, it's always best to have your butter with, straight out of the fridge, okay, because it's easier then to rub in. But I mean, sometimes you can have it at room temperature as well. If you're making a pastry, it's better to have it at room temperature because obviously when you finish making your pastry dough, you're going to want to roll it out and things like that. So I've just diced that really small there, just to help me along. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to rub this into the sugar and the flour, and I want to get like a sandy sort of consistency, if you know what I mean. Have you made a crumble yourself at home? Have you made crumbles? Yeah? Awesome. And just some regular chopped up nuts, alright? You can use any nuts that you like. You're not allergic to nuts now, you guys? No? You're alright? So we'll probably put about a quarter of the amount of nuts to what crumble mix that you've got. Right, yeah, so I've got my beef rounds. So now my pan's really, really hot now. As you can see, I've got a bit of smoke coming out of there. And again, I'm going to pop some grapeseed oil in there. A hot pan, I'm going to put some sea salt and cracked pepper. Some people actually season the meat first. You can do that if you want to, but I think you get a bit more flavour if you start letting the pepper cook in the pan first. It sort of releases the flavour of the pepper. Alright, and then we're going to pop these in, and we'll probably cook these about medium to medium rare. And again, if you've had a marinade, see, simple. Bingo, no washing up. I'm going to deglaze this pan once I've cooked the beef. I'll pull the beef out, I'll let it rest, but I'm going to deglaze it with a little balsamic vinegar and marsala wine. And just rest them a little bit. And then I'm going to put some marsala wine in, alright? Now the balsamic vinegar, the acid in the balsamic vinegar will sort of make an even balance with the sweetness of the marsala wine. We're going to reduce that down now to pretty much a fine glaze. And then in there is going to be some natural beef stock, alright? And then we're going to reduce that down into an almost syrup consistency, and that is going to be our sauce to go with our beef. So I'm going to go in with about a teaspoon of porcini and truffle paste, basic creme anglaise or egg custard basically. So I'm going to put about 150, 200 mils of cream, and I'm going to pop in some sugar to give it that sweetness. Instant control with the heat. So I'm going to take our beef medallions, just pop them back in there, just give them a swirl around in the sauce. Any leftover juices, pop them straight in as well. And now we're pretty much ready to start plating up our main course. Our wonderful roast potatoes, I'll just sort of loosen them up off the bottom. And our wonderful roasted beetroot. Pop one on each plate. And the beetroot just on the side there. Now this is very simple as well, a very simple dish. You can try this yourself at home. You've got beautiful roasted carrots. We'll just take our beef steak out there and slide that just at the end. I'm going to take 2 spoons. I'm just going to quenelle this, and this is like making a tiny little egg shape with the pate, alright? Because obviously I like things to be nice and neat, just like what our Electrolux products are. Now we're going to pop that just on the top of our beef. Truffle and marsala jus. Just going to spoon a little bit of that over the top of the beef, and as we do in fancy restaurants, we make a lovely few dribble spots here, there and everywhere just to offset the plate. It's a bit of colour to finish it off, so I'll take again just a nice little pinch of Italian parsley just over the top of the vegetables there. And ladies and gentlemen, this is our main course for today, okay, so please feel free and enjoy a taste of that. Well, a vanilla bean is actually the stamen of a very, very rare orchid, alright? And there's only actually one bee on the planet that actually pollinates these orchids, okay, to allow the stamen to grow. Now, when they pull the stamen out of the orchid, it's actually green and plump, alright? And it doesn't taste of vanilla at all. So what they do is they dip it into boiling water, alright, just quickly blanch it off and then dry it out in the sun. And that's what makes it turn black. And that's what also makes it release all that wonderful aroma and flavour. Scoop out those wonderful seeds, alright? I'm going to pop that straight into our warm cream and whisk that in vigorously, okay? And you need to work quick with that as well, because otherwise it's going to turn into scrambled egg and you don't want that in your dish, okay? Ready to plate up our dessert, okay? Alright, and we're going to do this as sort of a different way than a traditional apple crumble, because normally an apple crumble you do in a baking dish, alright? But we're actually going to do it in sort of restaurant fashion. So I'll just give it a stir, make sure there's plenty of raisins going through there, alright? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a pastry ring as a mould, okay? And drain off that excessive liquid as well. And then we're just going to fill our mould with the apple. I'm just going to obviously break it up a little bit, and then we're going to pop some of that straight on top of our apple mixture. And pile it nice and high as well, because we all love this dessert. It is a traditional classic. Fantastic. Now what I've got to go with this is the homemade cider sorbet, alright, as well. So I'm just going to take a little bit of our crumble mix and just put a little pile on the side of the plate, and I'm going to sit my sorbet on there, and the reason why is because it's going to stop it from sliding around the plate. Screen scoop, just going to run it under a little bit of water, alright, just to sort of loosen it up a little, and then we're going to take a pretty much nice perfect ball of the sorbet, and just to finish it off, I'm going to take a nice spoonful of that and just drizzle it around the plate, alright? So you get that sort of marbling effect as well when it's going through the juice of the crumble. This one's fallen out a little bit, but I'm sure it'll still look good. There we have it, ladies and gentlemen. That concludes my demonstration for the Electrolux E-line products.